Well, good morning. My name is Marvin Thomas. I am President and CEO of Aerospace Federal Credit Union, and I'd like to welcome you to the annual meeting of members. As you guys can tell, this is a little bit different than the usual format that we have when we are in face-to-face or in person. And for those of you who have actually attended a annual meeting in person, I would normally start the meeting now with something that goes like this. Good morning. How's everybody doing? And I would get an affirmative response from the group that says, outstanding. And I would reply, well, I'm outstanding too. When I woke up this morning, I couldn't think of being any place other than right here with you. At this point in time, I would catch eye contact with someone and give them a wink to let them know as a token of appreciation and thank you for being engaged. So at this point in time, I like to advise you that this Zoom webinar is being recorded, and by attending, you're giving permission to be recorded. So if you don't want to be recorded at this point in time, I request that you please sign off at this point in time, and I'll give you a second or two to log off. Okay, I'm going to assume now all those that are still on want to be here. So once again, welcome. I want to mention to you that you guys received an email. By virtue of the fact that you're here, you did receive the email. And in that email, there was the annual report for 2020. Also, the minutes from the last meeting that was held in February of 2020. So hopefully you had an opportunity to review those, because there are some action items that you'll have to take in regard to that later on. And last but not least, I wanted to just update you on the fact that normally we would do a drawing at the end of the meeting. You would have come in, and when you registered, you would have received a ticket, and then we would put the tickets all in a drum and spin them, and I would draw a ticket and call out a lucky winner. And as part of the requirement to receive your prize, you would come running down the aisle to pick up your gift. Well, being that the meeting is virtual, it'll be a little bit different this year. So if you've taken the opportunity to read the rules, you have to participate or be on the session or the webinar for the entire meeting to be eligible to win. And for those that did not read the prize drawing rules, the prizes are, we're giving away 10 $100 gifts, which is not bad. But instead of actually calling out tickets because you don't have a ticket, we're actually going to do the drawing after the fact at the end of the session and notify folks by tomorrow morning as to whether they won or not. A few more housekeeping things for you to bring to your attention. I'm going to assume that most of you have actually participated in a Zoom session before, and you're familiar with the raise hand and Q&A buttons that are associated with the Zoom function. So during the actual presentation, there's going to be some opportunities for you to vote on motions and approve motions. At the point in time that you are required to participate at that level, we're going to ask you to click on the raised hand icon. That raised hand icon will register your vote, and then we will then proceed accordingly. The other item that I'll bring to your attention is that there is the Q&A function that's part of the Zoom session. So throughout the session, if you have a question, please use that Q&A button to actually record or type in your question. We will receive your question at that point in time. And then at the end of the actual webinar, we will review those questions, time permitted, and answer them live. If time does not permit us to get through all of them, if you submit a question, we will respond to you directly after the fact. So now that we have that all set, and we're ready to go. I'm going to take this opportunity to turn the meeting over to Charlotte Lazar Morrison. She is the chair of the AFC Board of Directors. And with that, Charlotte, I shall turn it over to you.
Thank you, Marvin. Good morning, everyone. I wish we could meet in person, but you know, this is a good alternative. So the first thing I do need to do is ascertain that we have a quorum. So,
Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And so I will hereby call the meeting to order. And I do have one housekeeping item before we go into our agenda. So the Federal Credit Union bylaws stipulate that there is a certain order of business that we should follow, but we will be asking you for a motion to deviate from that order so that we can conduct the meeting in the order that we wish. So this is your first chance to use your raise hand button. I need a motion, first of all, to allow us to deviate from the standard order of business. So do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, we do have a motion.
Thank you. And then I do need a second for that motion.
We do have a second as well.
Thank you. And if you approve of the motion, please use the raise hand function to indicate your approval for the motion.
Madam Chair, the motion has been approved by a majority of the membership.
Thank you. So this is the order of business that we will be using today. You can see that we do have some business items to take care of. And then at the end, as Marvin suggested, we do have time. If we have time for Q&A, we will be answering questions. So the first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the meeting last year, which was on February 18th, 2020. And since you all received copies of those, we don't want to take the time to read them aloud to you. So I will take a motion by the hand raise function again to omit the reading of the minutes and accept the meeting minutes as presented.
We do have that motion made.
Thank you. And then I need a second for that motion.
Madam Chair, second has been received.
Thank you. And if you could use your raise hand function again and show us that you do approve the motion.
Madam Chair, a majority of the members do approve the motion.
Thank you. So next on the agenda is just to indicate who the volunteers are. These are the people that make up the board of directors, the supervisory committee, and the advisory committee. And just to assure you, they are all volunteers. None of us receive any compensation of any kind. We meet monthly to go over business and financials of the credit union. And also almost, I'd say all of us are on at least one, if not more than one committee, different subcommittees that meet also during the month. So we do spend, a number of hours per month in support of the credit union. And so I would like to thank all of the members of our board and committees for all of their hard work and dedication. And you can raise your hands as well and thank them. So thank you. And next, I would like to turn the meeting over to Lauren Kim, who will give the nominating committee report.
Okay, thank you, Shar. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from today. And in accordance with the Aerospace Federal Credit Union bylaws, the nominating committee was appointed by the Credit Union Board of Directors to identify individuals who are qualified to represent the members of the credit union as a member of the board. And to that end, the nominating committee set forth a slate of candidates. So in addition to the following slate of candidates, a notice was sent to all members advising them of their opportunity to run for an open position on the board as a petition candidate. No petition candidates were received, and in accordance with the bylaws, the slate of candidates as presented are elected to a 3-year term by acclamation. It is my pleasure on behalf of the nominating committee to announce that Tammy Choi, Jim Ford, and Steve Leontis will serve a 3-year term as volunteers for the board of directors. Congratulations to all 3 of our board of directors members. Thank you, Shar. Back over to you.
Thank you, Lauren. So this is the time for the report of the chair. And as you might have seen in my message in the annual report, the Aerospace Federal Credit Union has had another solid year, despite the challenges of the pandemic. And Jim Ford will be giving you financial details in the treasurer's report in a few minutes that will indicate that the credit union had favorable financial performance in 2020. It was so favorable that I hope you noticed that you did receive a bonus dividend in your share account in December. So that's great news for all of us. And unlike banks, the credit union is a nonprofit organization. And the goal is to give you and other members as many benefits as we can. So this can be seen in such services like the loan rates for homes and autos, competitive interest rates on your share and CD accounts, and bonus dividends if it makes sense given our budget and the performance of the credit union. It is not always easy, especially in this interest rate environment, to balance the investments that we make and the expenses that we have. But the goal is to pass on as many rewards as possible on to the members. And as you might have noticed in that annual report, the theme for this year is Stronger Together for a Better Tomorrow. So the Aerospace Federal Credit Union will celebrate its 60th anniversary this year, which is an amazing feat for any company in my mind. But it is not resting on its successes in the past. Marvin and his staff and the board are consistently looking for ways to improve the credit union and its services. They continue to attract new members, which is important. So if you have others in your family that might be interested in the products and services of the credit union, please encourage them to explore a membership. This will definitely help strengthen our organization and keep it viable for another 60 years. So as chair of the credit union board, I want to assure you that the board, as well as the management of the credit union, are here to serve you. As you would expect, this has been a very different and challenging year for the staff of the credit union. And so I do want to commend Marvin and his staff for responding to the needs of the members by providing service in a number of ways during these unprecedented times. Whether it was online, by telephone, meeting customers in the visitor centers, the staff was able to provide great customer service in a safe manner. They are all very conscientious about their duties, and the safety and soundness of the credit union are always at the top of their minds and the board's minds as well. Please wave your virtual hands with a big thank you to the staff for all of their efforts, especially during this time. I would also like to thank you as members for contributing to the soundness of the credit union by depositing your money there and by borrowing from it when you need it. So please continue to do both. As we work together for a better tomorrow, I do want to stress that the credit union and management will continue to look for ways to enhance your experience with our institution. And we're always looking for suggestions. So if you have those, feel free to comment anytime. The credit union is well positioned to do this in 2021 and in the future. So I want to express my appreciation for your participation today. And now I would like to introduce Jim Ford, our treasurer, who will give his report.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Jim. Okay. You did receive a copy of the annual report. What I'm showing you is a kind of a summary of the financial performance for the year, which, as Charlotte mentioned and Marvin mentioned, was very, very outstanding considering the time we were in. So we look at the chart in front of you. You see we had total assets of $406.8 million. We're up about almost $25 million from where we were in 2019, or 6.5%. Very positive. As far as member shares, we ended the year at $361 million. That's a $21.2 million increase from the prior year, or 6.3%. Member loans, we ended the period at $96 million. That's a $6.7 million increase from the previous year, or 7.5% overall. If you look at our total reserves, or our capital, we ended the period at $40 million. And the increase from last year was $722,000. So we're about 2% higher than we were a year ago. And of course, this increase is after the $500,000 dividend that we provided at the end of the year, which Charlotte mentioned. We'll go to the next chart. You can see some of the key elements in the financial performance were that the total revenues for the year were $10.6 million. We're down slightly from FY 2019, about 6.8%. Of that amount, 6.6 million was allocated to our operating expenses. And of course, most importantly, 3.3 million was returned to members in the form of the dividend, including the $500,000 special dividend. As far as net income for the year, as I mentioned, was $722,000. That was added to our retained earnings reserves and resulted in our capital increasing to $40 million. Corresponding to the capital is what we call the net worth ratio, which is 9.82% and represents a regulatory classification of well-capitalized credit union. So financially, we're doing very well, and we're way up in terms of what would be considered a well-capitalized credit union. As we look forward into FY21, we expect that there'll be growth in membership deposits, increased loan demand, and the Aerospace Federal Credit Union balance sheet is well structured to accommodate a wide range of interest rates. So we're in very good shape financially, and you have the detailed financial statements that were sent to you. So if you have any questions, that ends the treasurer's report. Questions? Okay. Have any? I'm going to pass it on now to Anthony, who's going to give you the supervisory report.
Thanks, Jim. I'm Anthony Steer, Chair of the Supervisory Committee, and I am here to deliver the report of the Supervisory Committee. In compliance with the Federal Credit Union Act, the Supervisory Committee retained RSM US LLP, a CPA firm, to conduct internal audits of many of the operational areas in the credit union with the focus on regulatory compliance and risk management. Richards & Associates, a CPA firm, was retained to conduct an independent opinion audit of the Aerospace Federal Credit Union's financial statements and business practices. Both CPA firms reported and discussed the results with the Supervisory Committee and senior management. And I am pleased to report there were no significant areas of concern with respect to the operational practices and performance of the credit union. Additionally, they found the credit union's financial statements conform to generally accepted accounting principles of the United States of America and are available for review at the credit union. And that concludes the report of the Supervisory Committee. And we'll take questions through the virtual question, and I'll hand it back over to Marvin.
Thank you, Anthony, and all the other participants. You guys rock. But what else could you expect? So, as noted, I am the president and CEO of the credit union. I want to touch on a few things, and I don't want to be redundant. Charlotte touched on a lot of different things in terms of how the credit union has functioned in 2020. I think most notable is the fact that no one anticipated in 2019, as we were wrapping that year up, that 2020 would be anything less than a year of clear vision. And then we were dealt with the COVID-19 pandemic, and everything changed. But I'm pleased to report, as Charlotte mentioned, that we made a successful transition to this new form of providing service to you. I like to think of it as a paradigm shift to a new normal. So the other thing I want to just briefly review with you is our pyramid of success. This pyramid represents how we look at providing service to you. And at the very bottom of the pyramid, or the base, is our tagline, which is intelligent banking and outstanding service. And I suspect you guys have seen that quite frequently across our website and most of the literature that we produce and mail out to you. And quite simply, that intelligent banking and outstanding service is the banner that we fly up under in providing that service to you. We take it very seriously, and our goal is always to attempt to exceed your expectation. In the middle of our pyramid is our mission statement, and quite simply stated, our mission is your financial success. So we have your financial and personal well-being at heart whenever we have an opportunity to engage with you and provide you service. And at the very top of the pyramid is preferred financial institution. And that's just a statement indicating that we understand that you have many choices for financial services. And we hope that if we are able to deliver at a high level, that when that opportunity is presented for you, that you'll think of your credit union first in terms of acquiring that service. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the AFCU management team and staff team members. None of this happens without their contribution in addition to your contribution. I think together we represent a level of synergy that makes the credit union successful. And when we're successful, you're successful. And as noted, we're about passing that benefit back to you. It's all about making sure that you are fairly compensated, or better than average compensated, when it comes to retaining financial services. And as mentioned by Charlotte, the theme for this year is Stronger Together for a Better Tomorrow. And that's a mouthful in terms of understanding the cooperative spirit of the credit union environment, whereby together, stronger together, we can build a better tomorrow. And that's the focus for the credit union. And I hope that we can continue to do that as we go forward. And with that, Charlotte, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Marvin. So next on our agenda is unfinished business and new business. And based on discussion with management, we have no unfinished business nor any new business. And so at this point, we will take questions if there were any that were submitted.
Madam Chair, at the moment, I don't see that we have any questions at the moment.
Okay. So we can
give it a few more minutes.
Yeah. No questions out there? If not, I guess they're waiting for that drawing, which will occur a little bit later. Anyway, next on the agenda is adjournment. And I would like to thank you for your participation. And again, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. So please raise your hand to make a motion.
Madam Chair, the motion has been made.
All right, and I need a second for that motion.
And we have a second.
Okay, and if you would please raise your hand to approve the motion to adjourn the meeting.
The motion to approve has been, I'm sorry, the motion to adjourn has been approved, Madam Chairman.
All right, thank you. So I, again, please, I would like to thank you for attending, and I do hope to see you in person next year. But in the meantime, please be safe and take care and have a good year. Marvin?
Thank you, Charlotte, and thank you to all the board members who have participated today. You guys are outstanding. I'd like to give you guys a round of applause in addition to all the members who make the Aerospace Federal Credit Union at the top of the list and number one in your heart. So at this point in time, I'm going to say thank you on behalf of the management team and staff team members. It is truly our pleasure to be able to serve you. We have a serving spirit, and it is our pleasure that you are a recipient of that attitude. So at this point in time, we're going to say goodbye for now. And as Charlotte mentioned, I hope next year at this time we will be able to do this face to face, and we'll be able to do the raffle where you can run down and claim your prize. But at this point in time, I'm going to say goodbye and go forth and do well. And we're going to do the drawing, and the lucky winners will be notified tomorrow. If you're not notified, you're still lucky because you're a member of the best credit union around. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and say thank you once again.